Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey guys, brand new podcast.
Hey, wait a minute. It's my podcast.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Enjoy. We're like uptown now. We got logos and shit. Right, B-Man?
Oh, do you feel left out? No, I got it perfect.
I feel very left out. Make
feel
sure
left
to
out?
ask them who the cool dad is.
Well, wait.
Not you, it's Eric Cruzen.
Georgia, why don't you sit in Dad's lap and you can share a mic?
No.
You don't want to sit in Dad's lap?
All right, have fun.
Thanks,
Okay.
babe. Thanks, babe.
All right, I love you guys.
Love you too.
Remember, don't talk shit about me.
Oh my God, Dad.
Dad, right?
Bought 7 pounds of Chinese food last night.
He bought so much. How much Chinese food did he buy, Tatum?
He bought too much Chinese food.
And Elizabeth asked me, she was like, why did he buy so much Chinese food? And I was like, he's an impulsive buyer.
He might be impulsive.
That's why he gave me like $200 to go to the pier.
I know. I said I gave her $200 and he went, that's not enough. I went, okay, there's 6 of them. There weren't even 6. There was 5 of you. There are 5 of them and they spend $20 each on food. It's just $100. So now they got an extra $100 to, if they want something else, Dippin' Dots, some other snack, they're fine. No, that's not enough. They need at least $400. Are you kidding?
I didn't even use it. I didn't touch it.
I know. I
We
took it
used
out of your
like
bag.
$30 within like the 3 of us. Like
Right?
the 3 of us that used that money to buy something. We each got a pizza and that was it.
He just wants to make sure no one ever runs out and everything is always enough, especially with food. You know, anytime we have food and he orders it, we're eating it for a week. That's the problem, is that I can't throw it out because I feel like that's so wasteful.
It is
So then we end up eating it for like the next 8 meals. I hate it.
Or you just don't buy 700 pounds of Chinese food.
He literally bought $300 worth of Chinese food.
I thought it was going to
Literally.
be a lot more than that.
It was ridiculous. So, first year of high school,
Yay.
how you feel about it? Silence. This is a radio. This is a listenership.
I cried a lot.
You did?
Yes.
I agree.
You cried a lot too?
I totally cried a lot.
What'd you cry about?
Everything.
Homework, assignments, teachers, friends.
Oh, I didn't cry about friends.
Oh,
No, or
Can't
you
relate.
did
I
inside?
cried because I was no, I cried because I was tired. That's kind of it.
You cried because you were tired.
Yeah.
So was it a huge leap from middle school? What was the hardest part? Why was it so stressful? Too many questions at once. Sorry. Why was it so stressful?
I just do so many more things now in high school. Like I'm a 3-sport athlete now, and back then it was only club sports.
You're a 3-sport athlete? So it's cheer, swim.
and water polo.
You're playing water polo too?
Yeah.
And you're in the choir, right?
Yes, I'm in choir, and I'm gonna start boxing this summer.
Oh my God.
So
And you're a
that's
Girl
just-
Scout.
And I'm a Girl Scout, and I have all of these honors and AP classes I'm going to take next year, sophomore year. So it's going to be a little more stressful than freshman year.
It makes me stressed out. So if it's more stressful than freshman year, how are you going to take care of yourself better? Do you have a plan?
What?
Like if sophomore year is harder than freshman year and freshman year you spent the year crying, how are you going to address that? What's your plan? Have you thought about that?
Limit myself to crying once a month
Just once a month?
and just let it out for one day.
Just one day?
I just talk to my friends a lot because they're going through a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are like 3 or 4 sport athletes as well, and they're all taking honors classes. So I just talk to them and see how they're kind of dealing with it, and then I might take a few tricks from each of them.
Got it. So why did you choose to play 3 sports?
Well, when I first got into, I had already gone to a few football games, and I had seen like the varsity cheerleaders there, and I was so like obsessed with them. I was like, oh my God, I just want to become a cheerleader. So I went to tryouts, I got in. This year I applied for varsity, I got into that too. So I'm just cheer's kind of something I love, and just being in spirit at my school. We do all of the rallies, we do all of the masses, all of the football games. We even do water polo games, basketball games. We kind of do it all for our school. Everyone knows who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And then for swimming, I had been a club swimmer for a year or 2 before that, but then I had to quit club swimming for cheer. But then my cheer coach told me, oh, you can play spring sport at school. And swimming happens to be a spring sport.
Okay.
So I decided, if I was just doing swimming and I really loved swimming, why don't I do it again now?
Right.
So then I joined the swim team. And then my friend Angelina, who was on the swim team with me because I convinced her, I think you would be good at this sport. You're not doing any other sports right now. You'll have your PE requirement out of the way if you do swimming with me. So she did swimming. And then one of her close friends was like, you should really try water polo. I think would be a great fit for you if you've already done swimming and soccer and all of this stuff before. Water polo is kind of just a mix of the two.
Right.
And so we have a club water polo team at our school along with a school water polo team. And the club team is year round. So they have a 2-week trial where you can just go to their practices and see what it's like before actually having to pay and become a member. So I tried that for 2 weeks with her and absolutely loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I've done soccer for so long before, and then like I just kind of fell off of that I felt like it was more inclusive of everything that I was doing.
I see.
So I decided not to do club because that would be just too much because they have practice year round and every day and through all the tests and everything. But at the school team, it's a winter season sport, so it doesn't really interfere with any of my other sports. So I can just do all of it.
So you cheer in the fall, water polo in the winter, swim in the spring. So none of them are happening at the same time?
They all kind of overlap. Cheer overlaps with cheer is a year-round sport.
Okay.
So football season is in fall, and then we have basketball season, which we cheer at, and water polo season, which we cheer at. So I'm probably going to have to miss some water polo games and stuff just to be able to cheer at them. But we mostly cheer for boys, not girls. So I should
see.
be able to do everything.
You don't cheer for girls?
No.
No? Do you cheer for any girls' sports? Or
Yeah, basketball.
Oh, okay. So you cheer, obviously there's no girls' football team.
No.
So cheer for girls and boys basketball and boys water polo.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Georgia, are you going to play softball again next year?
Yeah.
Softball's a year-round sport, even though the season is not year-round. You're pretty much practicing year-round, right?
Every day.
So did you like softball?
Looking back at it, I really liked it. But some of the times, I never hated it, but like some of the times there's just a lot.
Yeah.
But looking back, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And kind of the most fun parts, which sounds really weird, are the parts before and after practice or games. Because that's when like you hang out with your team and you talk and do stuff like that. And then practice is kind of fun.
But the games aren't fun?
The games are fun, but I didn't play, so they weren't really fun for me.
Well, you were a freshman on a varsity team. So freshman
Most improved.
most improved player. I know, state champs. Woohoo! Very proud of you. Well, I have to say, Georgia, you hadn't played softball since 5th grade. So when you said, maybe I want to try out for the softball team, I thought, really? Really? Are you sure? And you said, yeah. So when you got on the team, I was really very proud of you for being brave enough to kind of throw yourself into a sport you hadn't been in a long time. And so many kids these days play a sport from the time they're like 2, no joke, 2 or 4 years old. So for you to say, hey, I want to play too with all these girls who've been playing since kindergarten was really brave. It was a really brave deal. Same with you with water polo, to say, I've never done water polo, but I'll give it a shot. And what a great school you're at that would allow that, both of you.
Yeah, and then for me, there were 5 seniors, 3 sophomores, and 5 other freshmen. But everyone was really supportive of each other, which made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if everyone was kind of like out to be the better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If like they were all like competing to be the best, it would have been a lot harder to get along with them. But everyone was kind of rooting for everybody else.
That's good.
Which was good.
Great team environment.
Yeah.
Because it definitely can be the opposite,
Yeah.
where everybody's super competitive with each other and nasty with each other and don't like each other and drama.
That's swimming.
That's swimming?
That's swimming at my school.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's more of an individual sport.
Uh-huh.
And so everyone's trying to compete to be the best and to go on to CIF and to win that championship.
Yeah.
So you're not working as a team. You're more so working as an individual.
Okay.
But during the season, you kind of work more as a team because you're trying to beat other schools. So you add all of your points combined from winning.
Oh,
so then
okay.
you have to make sure that everyone does good and not just yourself. But doing well yourself always helps.
Yeah, yeah. So then once you get into the playoffs, it's every man for himself?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. I wonder how that would affect someone in softball. Not that you could really do that in softball,
You
but
can't do that in softball.
I wonder how it would have affected that group, because you're right, that group
was
really cohesive, really positive group. It was really cool experience for
But
you.
now
I
everyone's
think.
leaving, so.
So, what foreign language did you take this year?
Oh, God.
Spanish.
Spanish. Georgia, what foreign language did you take this year?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, which one was it? Excusez-moi. Pardonnez-moi.
It's French.
Respondez-vous, s'il vous plaît?
Stop! It was French.
How did that go for you?
I didn't like it at all.
No, you
I
didn't like
hated
French?
it.
Why?
I hated every second of it
Why?
because I didn't understand anything.
Is it hard when you don't
No,
understand?
but you know
anything?
what's so weird? I hated every second of that class. But when someone's like, "Hey, can you say this in French?" I could say it.
Yeah.
like-
you just don't know what you're saying.
I have no idea what I'm saying.
So you're an excellent reader.
No, because like if someone's like, "Hey," I think I don't remember who it was, but somebody asked me the other day. They were like, "Hey, can you say this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and I said it, and I was like,
Oh, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
But I
Hooked
hated
on phonics
every
style, right?
single minute of it because we had 7 hours of homework and you were not allowed to turn in late work, and I wanted to leave that class every minute of the day.
Yeah.
Then some other girl got to leave, and I got really mad.
Why'd she get to leave?
I don't know,
Like, did she go to Spanish?
because she's a brat. That's why.
Oh.
She's just like, I'm Mimi.
just called her out in front of everybody. I don't know who she is.
Mm,
What was
whatever.
your least favorite class, Tatum?
Spanish.
No way. Also? Why?
Because I'm just not good at learning a language, apparently. Like, I can speak really well. I have a really nice, like, accent and everything because my grandparents live in Mexico part of the time. So I know the basics of Spanish.
Right.
But then when it comes to listening to someone talk to me, I can't comprehend, like, what they're saying.
Oh,
But
I
if
can't
it's
do that either.
written down, I can read it and understand and reply quickly.
Right.
But like when someone is talking to me, which is the entire point,
Right.
I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
I can't even speak English.
Yes, you can. Do you want to?
Barely.
You want to know what I think? You want to know what I
What?
think? It should be like, yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what you think, Leanne.
I can't
Yes,
wait.
Leanne.
You guys are very high achieving students. And school, although it can be a lot of work and hard work, trust me, based on my younger daughter, is easy for you guys. So I think when you come up against something that's hard, it sucks. But if stuff were hard all the time, it wouldn't suck as bad. Because you wouldn't have a juxtaposition. Does that make sense? If you're kind of like, okay, I got it. I'm in ninth grade math in 8th grade. So you're clearly good at math. Okay, I'm doing really great in my English class. You guys were straight A students at your middle school. And all of a sudden, learning a language is a totally different brain function. So I wonder if it's harder than if it seems harder than it actually is I'm you guys are so smart. And school's not easy, but you learn. You're very good learners. I'm terrified of Isla to learn a language. Terrified. Like,
That's why
I'm
I
trying to
told her-
figure out a workaround so that she does not have to. She can barely use this language.
No, that's why I told her to learn French so I could help her.
Yeah, but you
I
hate
can
French.
always come
Yeah,
over
but
and teach
no,
her Spanish.
right?
But by
A little
the time Isla starts taking French, I'll be in French 3. So I'll be
Right.
able to help her.
You'll be conjugating everything.
Conjuguemos.
Conjuguemos.
I hate that. I hate that it's a website with a frog, and the frog gets mad at you every time you don't spell a word
Does
right.
it go, no?
No,
no,
no.
no.
It beeps
that.
and then it jumps. I hate that stupid frog.
Oh my gosh.
I
it
hate
just do
that frog
French?
at all. No, it does Spanish too.
Oh, God.
I hate that frog because I spell it right, and it's like no.
It's
and then
just
I
a slap in your face.
No,
the frog.
and then I like okay, I'm doing it, and then I like retype an N or something, and it's like okay, correct.
Oh, it's definitely a glitch in the matrix. It's
It
probably
is.
not you doing anything incorrect.
It's not
It's
because
definitely a problem.
I
with the
literally
website,
go, like,
definitely.
It's totally a problem
Space,
with the computer.
delete,
Totally.
click,
Yeah, it
Whatever.
sounds glitchy.
You never get anything wrong, Georgia.
No.
No,
Is it possible that could be
it?
it? Is it possible that it seems harder because school is easy for you guys in some ways?
Yeah.
Maybe possible. So then what I say is that's the class you should enjoy the most because that
it's not.
adversity is part of adult life. When you get in adult life, you have places in life that suck.
Like French class.
Like French class.
With Miss
Yep.
whatever her name. I can't even say her name. I've been in her class for 100-something days and I can't say her name.
Miss L'accent aigu?
No, it's like
Miss L'accent grave? No?
I don't
You
know.
haven't
I'm
learned
Miss
L'accent aigu?
Castillo.
Miss Castillo.
And it's so funny because people butcher her name, and I'm like, how do you butcher that simple of a name?
Right,
Like, you
Castillo.
hear that name.
Mine is
How,
like
how do they butcher
700
it?
letters.
Castillo?
Castillo.
Really?
Yeah, and like we'll be in class, and someone will be like, Miss Castillo, and she'll just go off. She's like, do not say my name like that.
That's so rude.
No, you know what I figured out the other day? My French teacher also knows Armenian.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe that's why she sucks at French.
So that's interesting.
She's from Armenian is her first language. French is her. She grew up learning Armenian, and then she went to French elementary school and middle school, and then she went to like English high school.
Right, because she's from Canada, right?
She's from Canada.
Yeah, so she probably is a refugee from Armenia into Canada. Maybe.
She spoke in Armenian one time. She went, whoops, I had been in French class. I was like,
Slipped. Wrong language. Okay, so we cried a lot. What was the friend stuff you were crying about? Anybody crying about friend stuff?
Yeah.
What was the friend stuff?
It's just different in high school because there's so many more kids in our grade, I guess. And
Yeah.
it's such a bigger place where you know so many more people. And so I started out with this friend group from cheer because we had practice over the summer. We already knew each other before school started. And then everyone started meeting other people and started to go off with all those other people, leaving like that friend group like it never happened. And then you go along with all of your sports or whatever classes you're in, or just people that you know that you're friends with or have known before, have heard of. And so people start splitting off into different groups, and like you still want to be friends with them, but you also have your new friend group. And I've been told from all the seniors and juniors and sophomores that I know that their friend group changed at least 5 or 6 times in 1 year,
Wow.
like every year. And I'm still kind of grappling to that because I've always had the same friend group that's always been there for me like for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting used to like changing from one place to another.
I'm
So
part of that
it seems
friend
like you are part of that peer group. But sounds to me like, to use an analogy of like a tree, right? In the past, your roots were deep, and now your roots are more roots but shallow.
Yeah.
So then there's a different purpose for those shallow root friendships. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So then I know what you mean. I was friends with everybody in high school. Everybody. And I floated from group to group to group to group to group and had a couple of really deep friendships, but I floated around. Everybody kind of floated around. But it's an adjustment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So were you thinking that some of the relationships were deep roots when actually they turned out to be shallow? Is that what
Yeah,
was
for
making
sure.
you upset? Okay.
that and everyone else is kind of, they've done this before because they've been at big schools like this. They've had these like shallow roots.
I
So
see.
they kind of know what they're doing. And then I'm just here going, wait, I thought you were here for the rest of my life. type
Right.
thing.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I could completely understand why that would be really upsetting. That's another learning curve, right? Because you went from one elementary school and then you went to a middle school for 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
And then went to school with Georgia for 7th and 8th grade. But you and Georgia have known each other since 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've had your same Girl Scout little core group since 2nd grade.
Yeah.
So those are long lasting. I completely understand why that is the case. Now, Georgia, I think, had a different experience.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, will you tell me what your experience is?
Well, it was kind of weird because they're like,
Well, first of all,
Two-
you went to a school where you knew
I didn't know
one
anyone.
girl.
I knew one person.
You knew one person in the
And-
whole school.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I made friends with like 3 girls in the beginning of the school year, and then nothing really happened. Like we were friends, and then like one day we just like didn't.
Separated?
We just separated, and there was like not a problem with that because they're still really nice to me and I hang out with them sometimes. But then I like came really close to this one girl, and we got really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got closer to a bunch, like a smaller group of people, and then we kind of like expanded it into a bigger group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So the big group isn't really close. Like a couple people in that group are closer than others, but it's just kind of a group we hang out in.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are like people who come in and out of that group that we're all friends with. So I'm kind of friends with everyone,
Mm-hmm.
except for like this secluded section of girls who've gone to Catholic schools all their life. So popular. Friends with everyone. Volleyball girls. Blah, blah, blah. I hate those girls. They're literally
It's a strong
Okay,
word.
well then I don't like those girls because they're all copies of each other. They like all shop at Brandy. They all have the same Instagram post. They're just like rich white girls.
Yeah.
And they're so annoying because they're so boring and they have like no personality.
Yeah.
So I'm not friends with them.
Okay. But I think you may be a rich white girl.
I know, but I'm not like that. I'm not like brain dead.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of don't act like anyone at my school.
Yeah. So I have
But that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have the group of people I'm friends with. And then I'm friends with some of the sophomores. I'm not friends with any of the juniors because I don't like any of the juniors. But
You're friends with a lot of softball people.
I'm
and
friends. No, but that's the thing. I'm friends with like the 5 seniors, the 3 juniors. But the freshmen and I never hung out
Right.
in school. Like we didn't even like we talked to each other, but like we were not part of the same friend group. My friend group actually hated them.
Why?
I don't know, because girls are stupid. But
Girls can be.
I would like stick up for them because like they weren't there to like because I was closer with softball than I was with them because I spent a lot more time.
Yeah.
But softball and the softball people and I never hung out during school. We'd like see each other in the hallway and we'd laugh or something. We'd like, I don't know.
Would you high five?
Yeah, we'd high five. We'd
Would you
fist
elbow?
bump.
Elbow? No.
Sometimes I'd like pull their ponytails and then they'd get mad and
But
throw a
wait,
paper
so
ball at me.
did all the freshmen from softball hang out except you?
Yeah.
So all 5 of the other girls hung out.
Yeah.
And then you hung out with this other group that
Yeah.
you started the school year with.
Yeah.
But I kind of think that's good because
is
then
good.
you've
No, because then,
diversified, right?
Yeah, so I made all these friends, and then as soon as softball started after school, we'd just hang out.
Right.
And we'd hang out during softball and we'd talk, and it was like we'd hung out during the entire day. And I think that was actually better.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'd hang out with softball, like I'd been friends with them and hung out and saw them all day. But like during school, we just never talked or anything.
Just didn't click.
We just didn't hang out during school. But like, yeah. So that's how it went. And then apparently there's this thing called sophomore split
Okay.
that I'm kind of nervous for.
Why?
Because it's where I don't think it's going to happen with me and some of my close friends. But I feel like it's going to happen with like all the girls that I don't hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically where like if you've been friends with somebody like throughout middle school and you go to high school with them,
Yeah.
sophomore split is basically where they all split apart and make new friends.
This is a social thing. This
Yeah.
is not something the school does.
No,
Okay.
this is a
Socially,
social
that
thing.
just
It
naturally
just
happens.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like all the girls that have been together since like middle school and go to high school together, they said it happens at all high schools, but sophomore split happens where like their friend group splits up
yeah.
and they're still like friendly, but they just like
They hang out with different people.
Yeah, they make new
Why?
friends. I don't know.
It's got to be a developmental thing, right? It's got to be something developmental because everybody's relatively the same age in their
Yeah.
sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
So it must be something. Maybe you know who you are better, or maybe those
guess so.
shallow
I
roots
guess
start
you're
getting
like-
deeper, or something.
I
don't
guess
know.
you're figuring out, okay. I guess you're like just, I don't know. I guess you just,
But you didn't go to middle school with any of those girls.
I know. So it's not going to happen with me because,
right.
yeah.
So how much of your time at school do you think is taken up with like social drama?
None.
None? There's no social drama at school?
Oh, well, there is some with softball, but like, I'm not a part of that.
What about you? How much of it?
My friend group didn't really do drama. We weren't really the popular kids, or we didn't really belong to a single sport because we were all did different sports. So we didn't really have any drama until like a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then we started like developing drama as people started splitting off into different groups and people started fighting and ignoring people and acting like they weren't there and stuff. So
That's not cool.
Yeah. So we just started getting that drama.
Why do you think people do that?
Sometimes it's for a purpose, like the person's done something wrong and they just don't want to be friends with them anymore, and this is their way of cutting them off. Other times it's stupid things, like she said that my boyfriend was cute, or she said that she liked her better than me, or they hung out this weekend when I asked to hang out, but she said she was busy. So it could be stupid things, or just they really messed up and they just don't want to be friends with them anymore.
Interesting.
Or girls are just cowards and don't want to talk their problems out.
Oh, interesting perspective. I think that is probably true some of the time. I think not just for girls. I think at your age,
People are cowards.
you're trying to figure out, even to be able to articulate how you feel is hard to yourself. To explain how you feel to yourself can be hard, I think, at your age. So how could you ever explain it to another person in a safe way? I think it takes some maturity to be able to do that at your age. So, boys. Tatum goes to school with boys. Georgia does not go to school with boys. What's up with the boys?
Nothing.
Nothing's up with boys?
Nothing.
You have no thoughts about the boys? Like they're stupid,
I don't
they're
think
cute.
I think about stupid.
I want to grab their butt and I'm scared.
I make her talk about them when I'm
You want to hear a story?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll poop.
I'll poop.
Tatum and I were, so my birthday party was yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were at the pier with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And like I don't go to school with boys, so it's been a while. But I went to the pier and I saw a bunch of boys, but they're all middle school boys and really nasty.
But a boy just called you the other day and asked you to go to yogurt.
That doesn't matter.
Georgia, when?
Yeah.
Whatever.
How come I was
But no, it was okay. Whatever. But like it was, I don't know, it's just like been a while since I've been into like not all girls. So we were walking out and then there was this group of boys. They were like 20-ish. They were like old teenagers, young adults. And they were all like, I don't know, like you could just like feel the stupidity radiating off of them.
I normally don't say that, but it's so true.
Like you could feel it. Like you wanted to, you could like, they'd been in a sorority house together for months. Like
How'd you know that?
You could just see it.
It just was dripping
They were
all
wearing
over.
like,
total frat
you could
guys.
see it. You could see the frat boy all over their little faces.
Oh, yeah.
So we were walking and I was like, okay. And then one of them out of nowhere just goes, yo, poop. And all of them start barking this idiotic laughter, like, like the laughter that you mimic, like, you know how like you mimic people laughing? That was their laugh.
Really?
Identically. So I started cackling
Oh, God.
with my friend. We were laughing. And then Tatum and I at the same time go, yo, poop. And we all started
Oh,
laughing.
my gosh.
It was so stupid. I was like, do you need to be reminded to go to the bathroom? Is this hey, let's make kindergarten jokes. Poopies. You said
You know,
pee-pee.
you just described your dad. You
Yeah, I
realize that,
know.
right? That is your dad.
I know.
He would
So,
walk up the pier
They're
with a
just
pack of boys
copies
and go,
of
hey,
Bert-
poop.
They're just copies of Bert Kreischer walking. Poop. I don't know. He needed help remembering that. Okay, I just ate a big footlong sandwich and chugged a gallon of beer. I need to poop.
Hey, Siri.
I don't know.
Yo,
Oh,
I need to
my
poop.
I don't know
God.
if he like.
So what if you grew up and marry that guy?
Oh,
It's not
God.
gonna happen.
That's not
It's
gonna
not, you're not
happen.
going to, they say you marry your dad.
No.
That's just weird.
I mean, like the guy that is like your dad, right? You don't want to marry your
I'm
dad?
exhausted.
You're gonna be Leanne.
You're right. You will be exhausted.
I'm not.
You'll be exhausted.
I'll marry a girl if that's what it takes. I'm not marrying.
But
dad.
the girl would be like your dad too. It's metaphorically like your dad. What are you going to do with that, George?
Oh my god.
I hope you're okay with dirty Q-tips all over the house.
I'm gonna slip.
Disgusting.
I'm gonna
Use
slip
flossers,
some NyQuil.
Quan.
I'm gonna slip some NyQuil into everything it eats. Just
My God.
put him in the corner.
Oh my
He
God.
goes over there.
Oh
But
goodness.
seriously, George, you don't like have a crush on anyone. You don't like anyone,
No,
guys.
they're smelly and they're stupid.
Well, we'll talk about it this time next year and see what you think after sophomore year. But what about you, Tatum? You had a boyfriend, right?
I did. I had a boyfriend for 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. From
This
the
is
beginning
the
of school.
face you're making. 5.5 months. Something's wrong with that?
No, it was a good relationship.
Yeah.
I liked to consider it my first relationship because I had a boyfriend for like 2 weeks, like when I was in like 8th grade or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a long-term, like heartfelt relationship for me. It was kind of just like, you're cute. Let's date. you
Right,
know?
right.
But now this was kind of like we had developed like feelings for each other.
Yeah.
And I had known this guy. He went to middle school with us.
Okay.
So he was the only person that I knew in freshman orientation. They put us into groups by our last name, and his and my last name were close, and he was the only person that I knew in that group. So we automatically started talking because, you know, when you know someone, you're just more comfortable talking to
Yeah.
them than going up to a stranger being like, hi. You'd
I'm
rather
Tatum.
stick with someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd rather stick with someone that you know. So we talked for a while. We talked for like half a month before he asked me out. And
Oh my god, wait, can I add on to this story?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Tatum, every single day I saw her, she said, check my text messages. Does he like me? I don't know if he likes me. I read through every single one of those text messages. I got so bored, I started correcting grammar.
Oh my
put
God.
so
You
many
always correct grammar.
Oh my god. Every single day. She was either texting him or making me read through her text messages.
Well,
She
guess
was like-
what? That's the way it is
she was
in
like- she was
high
like,
school.
Does he
know
like
he
me?
liked
I don't know
me.
if he likes me. I think he likes me, but I don't know. And I kept saying, yes, he does. You're talking about the same thing. You're the same person. He just got some other parts.
What? He got some other parts?
Physically, Mom.
What? Oh, you mean he and she are the exact same person? He's just got
All
other
of my friends did
anatomical
think that
parts.
we had the
Okay.
same exact personality. We
Oh.
kind of looked like each other, but not really.
Yeah.
You just
You
had
know-
bigger eyeballs.
Okay, Georgia.
But that's what your first boyfriend is like. You don't know. It's your first
Yeah.
time. So you don't know, does he like me? Does he not like me? Like me? Does he like me like me?
Kathy got
Or does he
mad.
just like me?
Exactly. It's very confusing.
So we're going really strong for like 5 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
For your
That's
age?
a long time for a freshman in high school.
It is.
And we both were like, he does track and field and cross country. He's in more honors classes than I was. So we were both insanely busy and hardly ever got a chance to hang out with each other. And he had more time than I did. And I was always busy. I was always like, sorry, I can't do the date tonight. Like, I can't hang out tonight. Like, maybe next week, all of this stuff. And he was, you could tell he was like disappointed, you know, like he
Yeah.
wanted to spend time with me. So I broke up with him because he deserved better. Like, he deserved someone that could spend more time with him and could give him all the things he like wanted that
Yeah.
like I just wasn't. I'm still not in the position looking for a relationship right now. I'm way too busy for that right now. I'm still trying to figure out high school.
Yeah.
But then like we're still friends. Like, we didn't talk to each other for a month or two, and then we got sat next to each other in class and had to do a class project, and we started talking to each other again, started becoming really good friends. He comes to me whenever he needs advice on a girl or anything, and I go to him when I need advice on a guy. So it's a really lax relationship that we
Okay.
still kind of like are friends. And then I started noticing, because I know him so well, I mean, I spent so much time with him, that he liked this girl.
yeah.
And she was also in my religion class with us. And so I went over, talked to her, and I'm like, so, hey, I heard you that, like, I can kind of tell that you really like him. And she's like, oh my God, is that okay? Like, she was asking me if it was okay. And I'm like, I want to see you two together so badly because they would be just so cute together.
Aw.
But then I know from experience, he doesn't like summer relationships because he thinks that he'll be too busy and all of this stuff. And so I'm kind of just waiting for them to get together. I'm pushing for it.
In the fall.
In the fall.
Wait,
Because,
when his schedule opens up.
yeah.
What are you guys going to do when you're adults? You're going to be like, oh, this is easy. Mom and dad were complaining about this. Your schedules are insane.
It's way too
My schedule
hectic.
wasn't like this when I was your age. I went to cheer right after school. I was home by 4:30. You know, I was done.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing, being home that early?
Yeah, I
You practice until 7.
I get off the bus at that time.
if I had an hour of homework, it was shocking. In high school, I had maybe 30 minutes of homework. I mean, of course, I occasionally would have to write an essay or project
What?
like that, but
The heck, Mom?
there was space to have a life.
No, there isn't.
There's not for you, right?
Yeah,
Think
we're
again.
so stressed out. I was reading through like a fact book the other day, and one of the facts was that nowadays high schoolers have the same anxiety and stress levels as a person in admittance to a mental hospital in the 1990s.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, no, it was like 1930s.
19 no, I'm pretty sure it's 1990s.
Just kidding.
So, do you think that's accurate?
Yes.
We're a lot more stressed than we like to let on, because then it kind of shows like a weakness for like other kids kind of pick on you sometimes.
Really?
Or for your parents to want to get involved. And a lot of times kids don't want their parents to be involved with their school life or with their social life.
Right.
So you kind of just,
Sorry, Mom.
Hey, it's okay.
you kind of just do everything you can, like when you have any spare time. So like between sports practices, you'll be sitting in like the locker room or the library, or you're just by a table trying to get all of your stuff done before you get home so that you have time to spend with your family.
Yeah, you just decompress.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia gets home and pretty much spends her entire time at home in her room doing homework.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but at the same time, I feel like, oh, she should be like 30 minutes of TV or something, just some kind of decompression moment. But just so you know, I was a high schooler once too. And when I was in high school, I was very secretive and I was very sneaky. And I didn't want my parents to know everything that's going on. And so I know that goes on in your lives, and that's normal. It's totally normal. As a parent, it's my opinion that I don't need to know everything that's going on right now. I shouldn't. It's not healthy. I need to know if you're not eating. I need to know if you're not sleeping. I need to know if you're hurting yourself in some way, or I need to know if you're really failing at the things you're trying at. Other than that, I don't need to know it unless
Okay.
you need me to know it.
I wish my mom had that attitude.
But it is, I think that's
Let's get Kathy
healthier.
in here
Let's get
first.
my mom in
because-
here and see what she says about that.
I think it's healthier because this is the time our jobs as parents is to get you ready to be an adult. And a lot of those things you have to figure out as an adult, like your time management, like the friend drama, like how to negotiate a boyfriend. So my philosophy is, I hope you know, Georgia, and this goes for you too, because you're like my niece. I'm always here, but I don't ever want to be a Budinsky. I don't ever want to be that person that's like, so what's going on? So you got to tell me everything. I don't need to know everything because I don't think that that's healthy. I think that I remember how I was, and I had lots of secrets from my dad, and I wasn't getting hurt. So it's okay. It's you trying to be autonomous. It's you trying to be independent. And that's what you want. You want your teenager to be independent and autonomous and their own person.
So you're saying if I snuck out tonight?
No, I'm not saying that you can break a rule or a boundary like that. Nice try, no cigar.
I already figured out how to do it.
However, oh yeah? Are you gonna know
Yeah,
how to
you're not-
turn off the alarm? Do you know that I get a notification on my phone when the alarm goes off?
Yep.
Oh, are you gonna then circumvent the notification on my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with
I'm
that.
gonna take your phone and I'm gonna break it.
And you don't think I'd hear you tiptoeing in? I hear everything. I sleep with
know.
one eye open.
I also
I'm like a Galapagos Island lizard.
one time when you
One eye
and
open.
when you and Isla and Dad weren't at home, I needed to I think I needed to go to or something. But I was like, you know what? Let me just sneak out a window. So I snuck out Isla's window and it worked.
You took the screen off her window?
And I put it back on.
Oh, interesting. Oh, good. Good to know.
I don't think I could
It's
get
not a
back
secret anymore, is it,
I was
people?
going to say, why are you telling your mom these things if you're planning
Whatever.
on using it in the future?
in. Whatever.
Well, anyway, I think secrets are healthy as long as you're not getting hurt.
My mom disagrees.
She
She wants
does?
to know everything about my social life, about my school life.
Yeah.
She's very clingy.
And how does that make you feel?
Like I have no privacy. And so then I love hanging out in my room. It's literally the only 95% of the time when I'm at home, I'm in my room with my curtains closed and it's all dark in there and I'm probably sitting there doing homework or reading or just listening to music or trying to not pay attention to my brother who's probably playing the drums really loud.
I hate that.
And then, yeah. And then my mom goes, you spend all of your time in your room. Why don't you come out and hang with us? And then she goes and insults my friends and then insults
Your mother. Your mother insults somebody?
She doesn't like a lot of my friends. She'll be
Really?
she'll talk about my friends or she'll talk about my social life or tell me what I need to do. Instead of doing this, you should do that. This is the way you should run your social life. And I'm like, no wonder I spend most of my time in my room. I don't enjoy talking to you about these things. She
Interesting.
just tries to pry everything from me. And I'm like, if I don't willingly, sure, you can ask and say, hey, how was this? Hey, how's this person? I'll be like, cool, they're totally fine. But when I'm like, oh, I kind of don't want to talk about it. And she goes, why? Why don't you want to talk about it? What happened? What's going on? Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to my room now and avoid you for the rest of the day.
So
Because-
it triggers some kind of worry in her when you don't want to talk. So I wonder if you said something like, everything's fine. I just don't want to talk about it right now. And really, truly, nothing's wrong. Do you think she would accept that?
No.
No. Okay. Well, maybe that's something you could have a conversation.
That sounds the same as I don't want to talk about it.
No, but if you say everything's fine, you're kind of qualifying, I don't want to talk about it. Instead of just, I don't want to talk about it, then you can read a lot into that.
No,
You can
but
go,
still,
oh, is something wrong? Is something bad
I
happening?
did that to Dad, and he had the same reaction. One time I said, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" And then I said, "Oh, everything's fine." Another day, I said, "Oh, everything's fine. I just don't really want to talk about it." He did the same thing. He had no change in him,
I don't know if you know this about your dad.
but he's a psycho.
He's not psycho, but he has a very hard time with boundaries.
Yes, that's
He's
the
not good with holding boundaries. He believes that what is yours is his. What is his, and what is yours is his.
truth. Yeah.
So
I was studying for finals, and he opened my room, took off his shirt, took off his pants, and laid in my bed. And I was like, excuse me? And he said, "It's my room.
it's my room, it's my bed.
It's my house. It's my room. I pay for this bed. I get to lay in it." I said, "No. That's not how it works."
It's your future, Georgia. You marry your dad.
Well, yeah, but that way
gonna
we
be
would
your
share a
husband.
bed, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But he just laid in there for a solid 30 minutes. He started snoring. He said, "Oh, sorry. Am I bothering you with the bed and the comforter and the sheets I paid for?" It's like, okay, sir.
He's a turkey. I think it is hard sometimes for parents
Bert Kreischer.
to I don't know why. There's a lot we know more now as a society. Like when we were talking about drugs to the girls once and doing drugs, we didn't know when we were your age that drinking alcohol could damage your brain. Nobody knew that. And nobody knew that smoking pot actually damaged the development of your brain. So since the time that I was your age to now, we have new information and we're like, oh, well, definitely I don't want my kids to do that. But the reason why is not, hey, you're just too young. The reason why now is, hey, it's actually proven if you smoke a lot of pot, you actually damage your brain because you're growing. So I think the similar thing happened with the reverse effect for parenting. I think we know more about what kids go through. And so now we want to help them more. And I don't know if that's necessarily the healthiest choice, right? Because sometimes you guys need to figure it out by yourself.
Right. My mom, she goes and she's always talking about, well, when I did this, this, and this, and when I did this, this, and this, like, this is the way it was when I was going to do it, and this is why I'm doing this now. She always likes to explain her choices to me.
Yeah.
But then I am over here going, but society from when you were a teenager and from the experience you had when you were growing up versus now where everything has changed, technology has changed, we know so much more about what we're doing to our bodies and what we're doing to our minds and everything. I think she still thinks that, oh, well, since this is what happened when I was a teenager, this is the exact same thing she's going through.
Interesting. Maybe.
So when I want to go do something or go somewhere, she always like asks the same questions her parents would have asked her.
Right.
Or when she's talking about social media and not want me having social media, she'll go, well, I didn't have social media and yada, yada, yada. And she'll talk about why she didn't have social media. And then I'll go, but technology's changed, time has changed. And I think she needs to kind of focus on now instead of what she went through.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Something else about being a teenager that I remember. I remember thinking my daddy was just an idiot. And my dad's really smart. But I remember in the moment going, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, that doesn't even matter to me. That doesn't apply to me. And now as an adult with a teenager, I go, boy, that must have been really hard to have said, hey, I'm 20 years older than you because my dad was 20 when I was born. And I've done all these things that you haven't done yet. I wish in some ways I had the wherewithal to take a little bit of his advice.
Right.
Not all of it, because some of it I needed to figure out myself. But as a teenager, my dad has this saying where he goes, hire a teenager because they know everything. So you don't have to teach them anything.
He does it to me all the time, and I hate it so much.
He does it to you all the time.
Every single time I'm with him, he's like, well, I mean, you're a teenager, you know better.
Right? But I think as a teenager, I remember believing I did know better. And in some ways, it's just not possible that you know better. It's not possible. Like, I don't know better than my dad about a lot of stuff because he's 20 years older than me, has 20 years more experience than I do about a lot of things. It's just kind of like math. It's not even emotional. It's really the math of living is if you've lived that much longer, then you probably know certain things more. But I know what you're saying about your mom not thinking, well, it's a different time now. Like, social media is how you socialize.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. You're not now like what we had to have dances and stuff. We had to have dances because there was no other time to hang out.
Right.
But you guys kind of digitally hang out. And it's a different way of communicating. One's maybe not necessarily better or worse than the other. It's just different.
Well,
you know?
I don't like technology now. I just feel like, I feel like some of it's good.
Well, you're on your phone an awful lot.
I'm explaining.
Do not like
Mom,
technology.
I'm explaining. Be quiet. So like, stop it. Oh, I like some parts of it. I don't like you. You're mean to me.
You like some parts of it?
I like some parts of it, but like not today. I think it was yesterday. No, this is at my birthday party. I'm sorry. I just take a little longer.
Yeah.
I was at my birthday party and I had put my phone down and I hadn't been on my phone because I think I was playing with my chapstick. But I looked up and every person was on their phone and I was like, okay.
But I put everybody's phone in jail last night.
Yeah, you did, which
That was
was
effective.
good.
Everybody was in phone jail.
I feel like now everyone has like a shorter attention span, so it's a lot harder to hang out with people in real life because they just want to get back on their phone, and it's really annoying because, okay, I get it, your phone's awesome, it's a little black box, wow, it's so cool, but I feel like everyone's now like dependent on their phone, and I find it so annoying because why can't you just like put it over there, not think about it, and hang out with the person in front of you?
I agree with you.
And I'm also kind of guilty of that. But like, I have gotten a lot better at putting my phone down. And even if it's right in front of me, I don't go on it.
Right.
Even if I get a text, I wait. Like, I don't go on it. But
yeah,
it's so annoying because why can't we just like go outside and play and do that? But even if we do that, somebody's on their phone and then everyone's watching stupid like TikTok or whatever.
right.
And it's like, okay, some part of technology is good. The part that, like, I can go last minute after school with softball, I can go to the restaurant or whatever if softball's canceled, and you'll be fine because I can text you and be like, okay, Mom, I'm doing this, and then I could take the bus home. Is that okay? Instead of like finding a phone and like dialing you and calling you and having a conversation. That part's a lot better. But the bad part is everyone's like sucked into their phone and now they're obsessed with it and it sucks.
Well, I have to say, being old school and not growing up with that way of socializing, I think that it is two things. Boredom is the basis of all creativity. And if you're constantly entertained by Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram or texting, you don't give yourself an opportunity to get bored. And boredom is where so many things are created. From art to science to technology comes sometimes from boredom. The other thing is the social piece I see that's lacking in kids. There's a couple of different like flip sides to that. One side is you can be really irresponsible socially for your own well-being. Like there's this person that told a story about sending naked pictures. You know, girls and boys these days send naked pictures to each other. In my day, you'd have to get a camera, take a photograph, take the film to the Rite Aid, wait 4 or 5 days to get it developed, get the photograph, and then put it in an envelope and hand it to that boy or girl that we wanted to have the naked picture of you. There was so many opportunities for you to go, you know, maybe that's not a good idea, and stop that. But it's so instant now. You can make a snide, crappy comment on somebody's website, Instagram page or whatever. You could send a photo that you regret. There's so many things that you could do, and it's so instant. You don't have the time to sit and think through, wait a minute, do I really want to do this? And even if I did all those steps at Rite Aid and put the picture in an envelope and stuck it like on the windshield of his car, I probably had time to go back and get it, if I regretted it. And you can't recall a lot of those things. And I think that's really hard. That's hard for you guys to be able to kind of go, wait, let me think about this before I do it. That doesn't seem to be the way your generation works. You do it and then go, oh, maybe that was really bad. And it's difficult to change that mistake. And then the other piece of it is exactly what George is talking about, is just hanging out with each other. I mean, I find it crazy that I go in to a group of teenagers watching a movie and every person is watching the movie while doing something else on their phone. And I'm like, you can't possibly enjoy the movie. Then you should just turn the movie off and watch your phone. And but watching a movie in a group is a group experience. So then you've all gone through this thing together as a group. And in some ways, if it's a great movie and you're all like, that's the best movie ever, you feel bonded because you saw this movie together and it was really awesome. But the kids these days don't seem to give themselves the opportunity to make those bonds because they'd rather be bonded with whatever's going on their phone, and then they don't get the real bonding experience. It's really kind of a bummer. It's not about the screen time. It's about the lack of interpersonal.
You know what I don't understand?
Oh, tell me about it, George.
You know what I don't understand?
Preach it.
Why? Okay. I was at Barnes & Noble's today. And
you were?
What?
Yeah.
I want to go.
We were at Din Tai Fung.
Oh, that's right.
We were at the Barnes & Noble.
They went to Din Tai Fung.
But, can I say names?
I don't know.
No, like, am I allowed to say names?
Of who?
I don't know, just anybody.
You can say my name, Leanne.
No, like, can I say Kylie?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, because I said one name one time, and you're like, no, don't do that! I was like, okay, Mom, calm down. But I was at Barnes & Noble's with Kylie and Lou, and they Kylie said, oh, Georgia, go like my recent post and comment on it. I said, why? She said, oh, just do it. And I said, it doesn't matter. Why do you want me to do it? She's like, oh, just do it. I just want you to like my recent and comment on it. I was like, okay. So I did it and I commented on it. She said, okay, thanks. I was like, okay. And then Lou said, Georgia, I got a TikTok. Go like every single one of my videos. And I said, I'm not liking every single one of your videos. That's going to take me like 10 minutes. I'm not going to do that. She said, no, you don't even have to watch it. Just click the heart. Just like it. I said, why does it matter? She said, I don't know. I just want the likes. It's like, okay, but why does that matter?
Why does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter for some people, though. It matters for, they think that the more likes they get, the more people like them. For them, it's like self-reassurance. Like, oh, I'm good enough for society. Like, people like me this way, or people like me this way, or oh crap, they don't like how I look in that. I should take it down and do a different picture, or a different photo shoot, or a different video, just to make sure that people like me as a person.
Right.
They're so worried about how much everyone else likes who they are that they don't think about, oh, do I like me? Do the people that matter? Do my friends? Do my family? Do the people that I know love me and appreciate me no matter what? Do they like me? They don't have to like me even.
Right.
They should love me for who I am, and you shouldn't have to change yourself
Right.
for people that you don't even know, for your 100 Instagram followers that you randomly accepted, who are people, could be an old guy from Maine
Yeah.
that you want their approval. You don't even know who they are.
Right.
That I don't get that at all. My Snapchat stories
Are crazy.
so incredibly stupid. I post whatever I want. I'm not even joking. I had a rant on my Snapchat stories just about the late bus, and every single person at school the next day wanted to take the late bus. They were like, I want to see what the hype's about. Why was it so scary? And every single person like that, they were like, Georgia, you have the funniest Snapchat in the world. I'm like, going, yeah, I know, but
Because it's real.
because it's real. It's not stupid
Because it's
pictures
real.
of you in the mirror going like this with your hand all, I don't know,
So you
broken.
can't see your face because your hands are like
yeah,
this.
you're holding your
Because
phone.
I
Yeah,
have
in
the
front of your
realest
face.
Snapchat and Instagram. I don't post the stupid pictures of you with your hands on your hips in the sun, like, whatever, I'm
Posy.
cute. I don't do that. I have like a picture of a house of cards on my Instagram. I'm so stupid.
But that works for some girls.
It works for some girls, but I don't understand why the same picture over and over again matters.
I don't know.
Because it's just you in the same plaid skirt and plain t-shirt in a bush.
You're just talking about random girls. You're not talking
Random
about anybody
girls. No,
specific,
no.
right? Just random people.
Just like in a bush. Like you're taking the same picture 3 times and posting it again. I don't know why that matters.
Well, there's 2 things you should know about self-esteem. One is called intrinsic value, and one is called extrinsic value. Intrinsic value comes from things you earn, like watching a movie in a group and enjoying that group experience and celebrating that in some way. Worst movie I've ever seen, and talking about each other's opinions and breaking it down. That builds some intrinsic value. Extrinsic value is what you're talking about. How many likes do I have? How many people like me? How many boys ask me out? How many awards can I achieve in softball? Not because you want to be a good softball player, but because you want to get the awards, the accolades. It's different. If you want to be the best softball player and you happen to get awards, that's an intrinsic value. If you are being the best softball player just to get the awards, that's extrinsic. Extrinsic value is good, but it is not as healthy as intrinsic value because you own that. Nobody can take that intrinsic value away from you. Every person could go, your Snapchat sucks. And you would say, I don't really care. It's what I want it to be. That's something that you build when you invest in yourself in a positive way, right?
yeah.
When
Can I
you-
just show you one of my Snapchat? I'm so proud of it.
Can we do it after this? Because no one can see it
Can I,
on here.
I really
But I do want to see it.
Okay, so
I'm finding
I'm
it.
kind of an intrinsic and an extrinsic person. Like,
my
there are
face.
definitely parts of me that have both.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time, I'll be, oh, I love cheerleading so much. I want to be the best cheerleader I can because I love doing it. And I want to bond with my teammates, and I want to have that good, fun time and get to know everyone. And then there's a different part of me that's like, oh, I want to be the best swimmer on the team. I don't want to move up to varsity. I want to stay on JV so I can get that award, so I can win every meet, so I can have the most points for my team, so I can be known as the best swimmer that they have there, which is, I'll admit that's what I do whenever I'm swimming because I want to be that best person. I want to be congratulated for earning the most points. I got awarded most outstanding swimmer, but I was working towards that award,
Right.
not towards something that I love.
Right.
And I'll admit that does happen sometimes, like with swimming, or sometimes I will have that like cheesy Instagram post that I do because I'm like, oh, like who does like me. I'll have those off days where I'll be like, I'll need to have someone accept me if I'm having a down day, or I'll need to talk to my friends and go, oh, how many guys have asked you out this week? Because 5 guys have asked me out this week and only 2 guys have asked you out that week. And I'll need like that appreciation that people like me or like how I look or think that I'm the best sometimes.
Right.
But then most of the time I'll want to sit and watch a movie with some of my closest friends and go, what are fried green tomatoes? And have to have that explained to me because I have horribly like never seen that movie, and people are going, oh my god, you haven't seen Fried Green Tomatoes yet? And I want to be able to sit down and have that movie experience and maybe go, oh, I cried at the wrong times. I cried when the hot guy died instead of when
Stupid Tatum.
he was too cute to die.
She died. She
Shut
died
up.
Not
because
stupid.
she found him attractive, and he died, and she was like, "Oh no!"
It was terribly sad when he died.
found
I
his
cried when he
Snapchat.
died
I found his
too.
Snapchat.
Want to die.
God, you are so funny. But no, what you're saying is really, really valuable, because I think that most people feel exactly like that. And not everybody should be just intrinsically motivated.
Right.
That's not healthy either, because you do have to have some barometer of where do I fit in with the world. So some of that extrinsic stuff is healthy. I think the difference is to have a balance, which is what you're saying. You do have a balance because you have that in cheerleading. You have that, let's sit and watch a movie with my friends. And then you have that, how many guys asked you out this week? Oh, I got more than you. I'm rocking. And I think that's very normal and natural. The problem comes when the extrinsic starts affecting the intrinsic value.
There are some
Right?
people that I know that solely base their lives around social media and solely base their appearance, who they're friends with, what they do every day, based around how many likes they're going to get, how many followers they're going to get, how many people tagged them that day in that post.
Right.
They go and get their hair done because they want to look like this person, because this person has 15,000 followers and they only have 10,000 followers. So if
my
they get this
gosh.
hair, they might get more followers.
Right.
Or they don't talk to their best friend for a week because their best friend isn't pretty enough to be their best friend. But this person is so pretty but has like a horrible personality.
Right.
So they go and hang out with that person because that person's popular and nice, and that make them popular and nice.
Right.
That's the basis of, I hate to say it, but my entire school is like that.
Really?
People are so based around their social image and their social media that they don't stop for a second and look around and realize what they're doing, what the world is, and
Right.
like who they might be harming in the process of that. Like I currently don't have any social media, and it's been a huge change for me. I'm not worried about, oh my gosh, has this guy asked me out yet? Oh my god, who's viewed my story?
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about like, hey, I wonder if this person's open so that we can go to the beach, or we can just sit there and cry over like what's happened in our past. Like we can go through our stories and we can get to know each other better, or just sit there and eat frosting out of a container on the beach, catching up with all of your old girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like we actually did that one
Yes,
day.
you
Dad
did.
got mad at me. He said, "Why didn't you leave?"
Because
any
chocolate frosting
for
is
me?"
delicious, okay? We weren't going to save you any, Bert. Just saying.
Get your own, Bert.
Yeah, sometimes we bond over those moments and you just realize how much you love these people that are around you, and that I might grab back my social media in a few months and go, oh, these people never really mattered to me. Why do I care about how many guys follow me, or how many people DM'd me this day, or how many people are talking about me, tagged me in that post? I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Right. No, you shouldn't. You're right. You shouldn't have to worry about that. It's a tough situation your generation is in, because you don't even know who you are yet. You think you do, but you don't. When you get in your 20s, you're going to go, oh my God, I didn't even know who I was then. So to have that fragility of how many boys like me from this school, how many, what is happening in my social media world, which is really an intangible world. It's not a world you can even go visit or hang out in. It's something in the stratosphere that
Right.
exists. It's really hard then to say, well, who am I and what are my likes and dislikes if your concern is what gets me the most likes on social media. That's really a bummer. And that you feel like your whole school is like that?
A lot of the people that I know that used to be my friends are solely concerned about their appearance, their image that they put out to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they just end up hurting other people
Right.
who say, I asked Georgia, hey, Georgia, are you busy today? And she goes, yeah, I'm busy today. Maybe we can hang out another time. But then I go and I check her social media and she's sitting there watching a movie by herself with her dog going.
Is this a true story or are you just making it?
No, I'm just making this up.
Okay.
She's sitting there watching a movie and she posted on her story, hey, someone hit me up, want to hang out today.
Got it.
And I
hate that. It never happens to me.
And I go, Georgia, didn't you say that you were busy today? Because I wanted to hang out today. And they're like, oh, I just didn't want to hang out with you.
Right.
Or
roast.
I say, hey, Georgia, are you busy today? And she goes, yeah, maybe we can hang out tomorrow. And I go, okay. So the next day I go, hey, Georgia, you busy? And she goes, yeah, sorry, I am busy. And then I check her story that day and she's hanging out with one of my best friends. That
Right.
she's hanging out with someone else. And I'm like, when did they ask you to hang out? Like, I asked you to hang out. So
Right.
you kind of are wrapped around social media, like seeing what someone did versus saying what they did.
My goodness, that would make me have a conspiracy theory about everybody. That would make me crazy because you'd like to take people at their word. And the reverse side of that is, all of that's very kind of covert, but it has to be okay for you to go, I can't do it today, and you do nothing, right? And just do nothing but
That's me a lot.
to say, I can't do it today, and then do it with someone else seems very underhanded in an open way. It's almost just like a slap in the face. And that would be really hard because then you're constantly getting slapped in the face if people are telling you one thing and then doing something else on social media. That would suck. There's no privacy then. There's no secrecy. There's no sparing anyone's feelings because sometimes that does happen where you're going to hang out with someone else and maybe those two friends don't get along and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and say, no, I'm hanging out with this other friend,
Right.
but there's no anonymity, anonymousness. However you say that word, anonymity, Amityville horror,
Amenity.
what? No,
Anonymity.
anonymity,
Why are you adding an I? It's anonymous, not anonymous.
anonymity. I don't know.
He's looking it up.
Clearly, I did not graduate college.
Anonymity.
Anonymity,
Anatomy.
That's anatomy.
Anatomy.
Anonymity.
Anatomy.
See a mimony. See a mimony. Autonomy?
Oh my god, I can't.
Anonymity?
Anonymity.
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 Phenomenal.
Anonymity.
Do.
No, I had it and then I lost it.
Anonymity.
Okay.
See? Anonymity.
You're wrong.
And non.
No habla English.
You know I'm blind.
How do you say it in French, Georgia?
I don't know.
Anonymity.
I could say,
Okay.
okay, I could sing a bunch of Spanish
Oh my God.
songs.
See, what is it?
Anonymity.
Anonymity. Anonymity.
Wait, be quiet, Mom.
say it.
Shut up.
What?
Anonymity.
See, I was right. Anonymity. I was right.
No.
See?
I'm so mad. I could sing a bunch of songs in Spanish perfectly. I don't know what I'm saying. I can't speak French.
Sing one for me.
I don't know one now.
Yes, you do.
No, I can't.
The
think of it anyway.
taki-taki.
Taki rumba.
Rumba.
I could sing it if it started.
I just started it for you.
No.
Taki-taki.
Okay.
Taki-taki.
Well, we're not
I
doing-
sound just like Selena Gomez. So then how does this, what you've just explained, how does that make you feel at school?
It definitely makes you feel like you're being blindsided almost, that something's going on that they purposely don't want you to know about, or it's happened before that, like, you ask someone to hang out and they say, no, I'm busy. And then they lied to you and said, oh yeah, I'm just doing nothing today. And they'll like post that on their story. But then what'll make it even worse is that they'll like block you from that story.
What?
So they're like, they make it so that you can't see that they lied to you. But maybe you have your friend Shelly, and Shelly over there goes, oh my gosh, were you talking to this person about this? Because they can see that story. So sometimes it feels like you're totally being blindsided or stabbed in the back because they went off behind your back and just went, oh yeah, I totally lied to this person.
Bro, that doesn't happen to me at all.
But it must feel really unsafe.
You feel like you can't really trust anyone.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. You feel like you're kind of growing away from people because they're doing this, because they're so sucked into social media that you just don't want to hang out with them anymore.
Right.
Or say you did something, but you don't know what you did, and now this person's not talking to you. You just don't know what you did, but all of your other friends are still friends with them, and you didn't get invited to this party, and you kind of just feel like you were just not able to trust them in the first place. You regret kind of telling them anything that you did. Your trust for them is kind of just gone. It's been going, like, you don't trust them anymore.
So then does it make you second guess your own judgment? Like, hey, I thought I could trust this guy. Clearly I can't, so I must have been mistaken, like that?
Yeah, sometimes it's like I blame myself for, oh, I was stupid for trusting that he would do this when he did this. And then sometimes there's the fact that, oh, he was just a jerk and my judgment's normally okay.
Right.
And he was just an odd one out, and he was the one that just did something bad. Or,
Really jerky.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't like all that. It makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. Georgia, you don't experience any of this?
No.
No. Does it happen at your school?
I don't know.
Nothing.
If it happens, then I'm not aware of
You
it.
have great friends then.
Are you blissfully ignorant?
What?
Just walking through life, not paying attention,
No.
just being
Like,
blonde.
my friends-
This is why I'm friends with her.
My friends just like
I need her
aren't
close
mean.
friends.
They're just blatantly honest. They're like, yeah, I'm sitting on my couch. I don't want to hang out. I'm like, okay. And they all live really far away. So
Well, the good thing about
And then there's
Georgia is that Georgia's pretty uncomplicated.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, you don't want to hang out. That's fine. I don't
You're
care.
very easy to talk to as well.
Oh,
Well, I'm kind of the bomb. So
Bomb.
you are the bomb.
Just live here
squad.
because
You can live here.
I do kind of live here. Bert will walk in the front door and go, oh, Tatum.
Hey, Tatum, what's
Hey,
up?
what's up? And I'll be like, okay, like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna chill here for like the rest of my life because love this
My-
family.
Well, we love you too. You're a
Aw,
great
thank
kid.
you.
my feelings also like, I thought you were just like about it, and I'm making it longer. Anyways, that didn't make sense.
No. So what were you gonna say?
Okay. I don't know. It just like, I don't know how to say this. My feelings get hurt sometimes,
Yeah.
but with petty stuff like that, they don't get hurt.
Right.
Like if, I don't know, like if I see, this hasn't happened to me because like everyone loves me and I'm amazing. But
And so modest.
if I see
also.
my friend like hanging out with other people, I don't get jealous. I'm like, okay, well they're having a fun time, whatever.
Right.
But if like if say I would ask my friend Jill,
Yeah.
say I asked my friend Jill, hey, you want to hang out? She says, no, I'm okay. I'm really busy. And she's hanging out with other people. I try and think like the best of her, like, oh, maybe they already had plans and she just, yeah, like they already had plans, like they'd planned this before. That's what I try to think. I never really go to the place of like, oh, they're ditching me to hang out with them.
Right.
But if I ask like in advance, like say like, oh, Jill, you want to hang out this Saturday? And she says, sure, I'll do it. And then Saturday comes, like, okay, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. And then she's hanging out with somebody else. I just go, okay, I'm just going to be like, okay, not talking to you, Jill.
Not
Get
asking
out of my
her
life.
anymore. Right.
Like, I just won't ever ask to hang out with her again.
Right.
Until she asks me. Because,
So it sounds like you're looking for more of a friendship that's authentic.
yeah.
Yeah. Just what you see is what you get
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because if somebody's being petty, I'm like, okay, just done with
No
you.
time.
How are you not done with me yet?
You're not petty. And Tatum, there's a difference between having different groups of friends Like, you have different groups of friends. You have this group. You have your friend Nova you've been friends with forever. And sometimes they interchange and sometimes they don't. And it doesn't mean that you don't hang out with, you can't just hang out with Nova. You have to include Georgia. That's ridiculous. That would be unreasonable.
Right.
A lot of the reasonableness is such a good term to say to yourself, is that reasonable? Is it reasonable that she could hang out with someone else without me? Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Okay, well then maybe my getting upset about it is not maybe accurate or not justified. Is it unreasonable? If the answer is yes, it's unreasonable, then you go, okay, well then I should be upset and maybe I'll talk to her about it. Or maybe I just won't talk to her anymore. I'll drift off and let her figure it out.
Stupid Jill.
Friendship is really hard. That stupid Jill. Friendship, girls can be really hard. I didn't have any really, really super thick, tight, close girlfriends until I was in my 30s because I couldn't figure out the drama.
Some girls are so stupid. I just don't understand them, so I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, why? These two girls, I'm not even friends with them. They were having a fight over something that wasn't even real. I think, like, apparently some girl called another girl a name, but that girl never really called her that name.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't talk for the entire school year, and then they got really close during the last week of school. And I was like, come on.
You wasted the whole school year.
You're
You should have
wasting-
talked it out.
Just
Talked about it.
wasting time.
Wasting
Whatever.
time. Georgia school has a very different atmosphere, I think, than maybe your school does.
I agree.
They're very different atmospheres. One's not good or bad or better.
You're just so different.
It's very different. And I don't think Georgia would tolerate that environment you described.
Nope.
I don't think that's not her
I
environment.
would
You'd be done.
I'd be starting a club called the Real Kids Club.
The Real Kids Club.
and
no one would be in it. It,
You-
it would be her.
I would be preaching to a paperclip.
You could call it the For Reals. We're the For Reals.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, no offense, but that's why I didn't go there because all those kids are
Don't do that.
okay.
That's not a fair statement.
Some of the kids that I don't know.
Are we including me in that? All of those
No.
kids?
there's
all of those kids is not a fair
I
statement.
know. I'm sorry.
I think some
Most
of
of
that
those.
atmosphere happens at that
Of the atmosphere.
some of that atmosphere is at Tatum School that's not at your school.
There's like a 50% that I can handle.
You don't even know. You're not at that school.
I don't think that I could handle that atmosphere either. I think there's such a difference in personalities between Georgia and I.
Yeah.
And I think that we both kind of fit our schools really nicely.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. You're exactly right. And you see how the two different atmospheres can be friends? You see?
this is an exception. This never happens.
This never happens. No one at Tatum's high school is friends with
Oh, I
anybody
don't
at
know.
your
no
high
one at
school.
my high school would be friends with Georgia's friends.
You
or
don't think so?
people. No, I don't want to say people like Georgia because I bet it happens. Like the two of us are great friends.
Georgia's a
But
different species.
Georgia's a different species. I mean, come on, only certain people can handle her.
Well, that's
Wow.
really unfortunate. I would hate to think that someone thought less of a school
Me.
or
Yeah,
It happens.
it's really unfortunate.
I don't know. I was
it's just the way
talking to
teenagers see things now.
Yeah, I was just talking to this senior who drives me home, and she said, "Oh yeah, people who go to only like a freshman year, and then the rest of it sucks." I was like, "Okay, thanks."
How does she know?
I don't know. She doesn't even go to. She said, "Yeah, you know what? Because Louisville's amazing. Because amazing. Everyone hates it freshman year, but loves it the rest. And then I have so many friends that everyone who goes there loves it freshman year, and then they hate it the rest." I was like, "Okay, but you don't go to, so shut your little mouth."
Yeah, a lot of people like to spout their opinions on
Yes.
different schools without
Yes.
actually experiencing it.
Yep.
Like I get it if you went to school there, but like if
for
you
like
didn't,
freshman year and then or sophomore year, and then you switch schools to for
yeah.
junior and senior, but you haven't actually had that experience. And people are so different that they're just going to have different experiences.
Yeah.
No one's going to have the same experience throughout all of their years. So maybe that's true. Maybe one person loved it freshman year, and then sophomore year and junior year and senior year, it sucked for them. They
Right.
hated it. But then there might be a totally other person who loved it all 4 years or hated it all 4 years or was like, freshman year sucks, and then became an upperclassman and was like, this is the most amazing school ever. whatever.
Yeah,
It
totally.
could depend on your teachers, your friends, your classes, your extracurriculars. It could depend on so many different things, your social life, what you're doing in that moment, that you can't judge other people for it. You can't put it into different groups or different sections. You can't say, oh, most people do this or most people like that, because there's just so many different ways that people think and understand that there's no way to group them together.
I agree. Totally agree. They're just different. That's all. Different people, different strokes for different folks. So what are you anxious about next year? You already said the sophomore split, but you don't think it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
But if the sophomore split happens, it'll be happening all around you.
Yeah. I think that's just going to make me really anxious. Like everyone like not talking to each other.
And being drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want to I don't want to manhandle things, but sometimes I just want to go, you and you just talk and then just do it, please.
Get past your whatever.
Can you be my guidance counselor? Can you come over and tell my friends that?
Yeah, like I just
Lord.
sometimes I just get so aggravated with people I'm not even friends with. Like, okay, you guys can go in this room and talk it out, and you're not allowed to come out until you get it over with, so I can stop stressing about it.
Why do you stress about other people's
I don't
drama?
know. It just makes me anxious.
It's because you're an empath.
Thanks. I don't know what that means.
It means you're really sensitive to other people's feelings.
Okay.
What are you anxious about sophomore year?
Having too much to do.
Yeah.
I think I definitely signed up for a lot, and I am hopefully gonna know how to handle it
Right.
better. But there's a little bit of that worry that's like, what if I can't do it? What if I need to drop out of that class? What if I need to drop that sport? So I'm just a little bit anxious about that.
So what if you do? What if you do? What happens?
I'm just worried that it's going to be like less credit for school, or I'm not going to be able to put that on my resume, or just it impacts my college or my resume or my decisions in the future.
Sounds like you're doing a lot. So I think it would be pretty hard to negatively affect your future, especially because you're a Girl Scout, and Girl Scout's like the number one thing you put on your resume is number one.
Girl Scout gold, silver, and bronze award.
Exactly. That they go swimming. Look what she did for Girl Scouts,
Scouts.
right? No.
We raised this much money for Girl Scouts.
Exactly. You guys have really knocked it dead in that area for sure. Anything you're really excited about for sophomore year?
Being an upperclassman.
Upperclassmen of the lower classmen, though.
Yeah.
Upper of the lower.
Yeah, because there's upperclassmen of the lower classmen. When you're a junior, you're the upperclassmen of the sophomores, but you're the lower classmen of the freshmen. And when you're a the seniors. And then when you're a senior, you're just upperclassmen. And
You're
then
just
you
like
leave.
too cool for school.
And you
Then.
leave.
Yeah, you just arm
Drive
wrestle
away.
all day, and that's all you do.
Just go, sorry.
Decide to grow a beard,
Yeah, totally.
That's disgusting. I hate when high schoolers try to grow a beard because it looks nasty.
No, there's tons of people that like seniors that walk around our campus, because we do like Movember and stuff. So there's a lot of the seniors and juniors have like facial hair.
My goodness.
So it's just kind of, but like it fits them. Like they don't look too young to have facial hair. They just look like just older. Like you can tell they're
Right.
ready to graduate. They're ready for college. They're kind of done with high school.
Right.
Yeah, some little like freshmen that have facial hair, it's like you are literally 14. Calm down, get a razor.
So, if you had to pick a profession today, what would it be?
Oh God. No.
How have you not thought about this?
What do you have one, Tatum?
I have a few different things. I wanted.
Tatum.
I am prepared.
I know
okay?
half of them.
Well, good. Let her tell him.
Actually, let me hear what you think.
You want to be like a lawyer and a model, and that's all I
So
know.
there's two of the three. So I was deciding.
Oh, see, I got most of it.
My mom wouldn't let me model. But I think modeling would be a good experience for me. So if I got into that now, maybe I could make a career out of it later.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a backup.
Mhm.
And then I was thinking of going maybe into law, whether it be criminal defense or just go into law and kind of see where it takes me.
Mhm.
And then I did want to go into, my first choice was like CSI and forensic science.
Oh, I knew that.
And that just has been something that really interests me, with science and math and law kind of all put into that one job together.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be really good at that.
You know what's really funny? Your mom took a career test. Did she tell you this?
Yeah.
And one of her jobs was forensic scientist.
Forensic science.
Oh, I did a career test.
And we're one of the only high schools that has a forensic science course that
Oh,
you can
cool.
take as a senior.
That's really cool.
And there are only 8 colleges in the U.S. that have forensic science as a major, and there are only like 13 of them that have it as a minor.
Wow.
So I'm kind of narrowing down my choices. But, you know, things could change. Like,
Yeah,
you
totally.
have 3 more years to decide, 4 more years to
Absolutely.
decide.
Longer than that if you need it.
Yeah. Georgia, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do, George?
I don't.
Professional
I just
juggler?
choked on air.
Professional juggler?
No.
Professional
Okay,
comedian?
I have no idea what I want to do, but I know that I don't want to do anything where I have to sit down all day because that's going to make me want to shoot myself. I don't want to do anything where it's like the same thing over and over and over and over again because that's also going to make me want to shoot myself. And I don't want to do anything where I have to, well, no, actually, I don't care. So I just don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again because that's stupid. Because why would you do that?
So no
Okay.
cubicles.
I'm not gonna be a comedian because apparently I'm really funny, but like I think that's kind of weird.
You
If
do?
like dad's a comedian and I'm a comedian, I don't know.
I
how
could
feel
see you
about
as a
that.
comedian, though.
You could be a comedy writer,
Yeah.
but then you have to sit down all day and write.
No, but like that's okay.
Oh,
it's
okay.
different every
That's
time.
fine because like you're not.
You're living in your imagination, which is different every day. As you're talking about like being an accountant or something
Yeah,
where you're
like,
like
if
running
you're
numbers all day long.
running
So
like-
my mom.
I would
Right.
I would want to stick the numbers up my nose until I started bleeding.
Oh my God.
but I don't know what I
crazy.
want to do because I thought about being a teacher,
Mhm.
but like
would
they
kill the
would
children.
teach the same thing over and over again, like different periods. So I kind of ruled that out.
Well, that would depend on the grade you taught.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to teach young children because they get on my nerves.
I was gonna say, you would
Okay.
But
shoot the
also-
children.
Also, I thought about being a therapist, but like I don't want to be someone's shrink because that's kind of weird.
Why?
I don't know because I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have to know. I was just curious if you had any inklings.
Well, I have no legs.
You're inklingless.
La, la, la.
Inklingless.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
sure.
Okay.
I don't want to sit down all day.
Well, you could have a standing desk.
No,
And
that's
you
Dad
just
has
even
a
stand.
standing.
He
Their
does?
entire office just moved from like the 23rd floor to the 8th floor, and they decided all of these new desks. So now they have like a little sitting bench and a sit-stand desk.
Nice.
Yeah, it is great. We just visited work the other day.
It's
He
supposed
has
to be better
walls
for
that
you.
he can write on. Like
He
it's
does?
they're all of them. They're all made of like glass, and they're all writable.
Oh, that's really cool.
So he has writing all over his door and his walls and his desk and
That's really cool.
Maybe I'll work at NASA.
NASA?
NASA.
Just blow things up all day.
NASA doesn't blow
So like an
things up.
engineer.
What? NASA doesn't blow things up. It
They
sends
do.
things into
Test
space.
rocket.
Hey, maybe I should work at
JPL.
Mafia.
Mafia.
I want to do something. I used to want to be a police officer because I like you're not doing the same thing every day. Like you're kind of out there. But then I realized they don't get paid a lot. So
They definitely don't get paid what they're worth.
yeah, and then everyone hates police officers now. So I guess I'm not a police officer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll work in the CIA and you won't know about it.
Oh, there you go.
I'll tell you I'm an accountant.
Perfect.
I wouldn't believe you if you told me that you could become an accountant. You would have had to make me join the CIA with you.
Right, totally.
I'll join the CIA.
I could become a
I'll learn
professional
about
stalker.
aliens.
So,
Area
did we answer the
151.
question what you're most excited about for sophomore year? Did you?
You didn't ask that. You said what are you most nervous about?
No, she did.
No, I said excited
Oh,
about.
and then we said
Good.
upperclassmen.
And you said being an upperclassman. You said that, but what
Well-
did Tatum say?
I didn't say anything.
I'm speaking for both of us.
Sure. Okay, she can read my mind now.
Maybe that's what I should do. Hypnotism.
You may be a wiener schnitzel. You might be a wiener schnitzel. So, do you think your siblings are going to go to your same school?
Yes.
Tatum, what's that face for?
No, Drake's going to
Okay, so Drake likes
Okay.
carpool.
she's gonna get a van so that it can all carpool.
I know. We're looking into a conversion van. I'm kind of
Georgia, you're getting a conversion van. You're not getting a regular van.
Maybe some velvet seats.
With the spinny chairs.
Exactly, and
Then
the
we
table.
can always play cards, and I can beat everyone.
Exactly, with the removable
Not
table.
fun for me though. 'Cause I'm gonna
No
go
one
drive.
cares. Leanne and I are gonna have fun in your convertible
I'm
van.
having so much fun with Tatum in the back.
We're gonna go on road
I'm gonna
trips.
just
We're gonna
slam
make you
I'm
drive.
gonna slam
Right,
the brakes
right.
really hard every single time I have to make it go.
So you don't think Drake's going to?
He hasn't gone into it really far yet. He hasn't really started looking. I think he likes. He just doesn't. It's a very sports oriented school. Like, we skip school for our sports. Like, they definitely sports over school, which is not normally how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And he is definitely more of a musical athletic. He's like me. He likes music. He likes athletics. He just doesn't like academics.
Right.
And our academics are still held really highly. So we have like a top of the line drum line, which is totally his thing. He's so interested in that. He kind of wants to go there just for their drum line because we're an award-winning drum line, haven't lost a competition in like 5 years or something
Wow.
insane like that. So he's really looking forward to that. He really likes that. He might join the soccer team if he goes there. But other than that, the academics, he went on a tour of the school and it was like, I don't really like the way they teach here. I don't like the way that they use iPads all the time. I know I wouldn't be able to get my work done because it would be a distraction for me. And I was like really proud of him for like being able to admit, oh, I probably wouldn't do that well academic wise here.
Right.
And he went to and he liked the way they taught and liked all the people he met there who were all really nice. I think he did like the all guys aspect of it. He definitely did like that.
Right. For some people, it's
is
really
weird.
great.
Yeah.
For some people, that single sex environment is just perfect and they thrive. And some people don't like it. And that's okay because everybody's different. Right?
Yeah.
So what about you? You think your sister will end up at?
Yes.
You think so?
She keeps telling me I'm going to.
I
You
know.
can't stop me.
She's kind of excited.
Okay.
What's it
calm
going to
down.
be like to have
She
her?
wants to go to, but she doesn't want me to drive her.
That's stupid.
Bro, you're dumb.
Yeah, that is really
I'm
stupid.
just gonna kidnap her.
And guess
over there.
what? You're driving her.
Yeah, I know. I was like, even if it's illegal, I'm driving.
Guess what? You're driving her. Any questions for me?
No.
You want to know the hardest part about high school for me?
No.
Sure. Georgia, stop being so weird.
Try to leave.
No.
Driving.
I want to drive.
I want to drive so bad.
I drive so much one day. One
Oh,
day
I
I
thought
drove
you were talking
100
about
miles
your
in
high
one
school.
day just for high school. What?
I thought you were talking about your high school. I was
No,
like,
for me, your
okay.
first year of high school.
Well, don't worry. We'll be able to have our
Yeah,
permit
you still
soon.
want to hear that.
I
Calm
cannot
down.
wait to drive.
To drive.
Oh my gosh,
I am
can-
terrified of you two people driving. Terrified.
I already drive.
Why?
Like, I've already
Where do you
driven
drive?
Mexico.
Do you drive in Mexico?
Yeah,
really?
all the
Oh,
time.
That's so cool.
We started off when I was like 3 years old. I would sit on my grandpa's lap and steer the car while he
Right.
did the gas. And then I got to like 8 years old and was like too big to sit on his lap anymore. So then they taught me how to drive. I know how to parallel park. They
Oh,
have this
awesome.
old abandoned like park thing that they only do celebrations in once a year. So we go down there and they have all these stalls set up.
Yeah.
But it's like just the poles for them so that they can come and put whatever they want on them. So we learned how to park in Trader Joe's.
There's
next-
Trader Joe's in Mexico?
there's a Trader Joe's. We like to call it a Trader
got it.
Joe's.
Quote,
And we pretend
unquote.
that there's a BMW on our left and a van on our right.
Yeah.
And that we have to park in between them. So we've learned how to park. I know how to parallel park between like two trees and all of this stuff.
That's cool.
But I have a feeling I know it's different in LA because it's LA.
yeah.
But at least I have like I can drive. Like I know what I'm doing.
You have
So
some
I
basics.
think like it's going to be a lot easier for me to pick up than someone that's like never sat.
Someone
Can
that's
I
like,
go to
Georgia.
Mexico?
Georgia. Someone like,
I'm
Georgia.
fine. I'm fine.
Put it this
Whatever.
way.
I would be scared to drive with Georgia.
Papa J said
Legit.
to me, I'd let Isla drive before I let Georgia drive.
How long ago did he say that?
I don't think I'll agree with that one.
I won't.
No,
agree
you
with
won't
that
agree with
one.
that one? You know why?
I
Here's
love
why.
Isla and she loves me, but like
Yeah. Here's why. Isla is spatially really smart. Like she's aware of her space much more so than her sister is. Her sister's aware of like what's within arm's reach.
Okay, you know what? Let's
You know?
retest this.
And
I'll go drive right
Isla
now.
is aware of like the world a little better.
No,
So what
I agree
worries
with
me
that.
about Georgia is that Georgia's going to be watching her own hands on the steering wheel while driving instead of the road.
I'm
should be
not
watching
gonna
this-
do that.
I'm just saying. That's what I'm concerned with. That's my concern.
We don't exactly know.
Have
what
you
you're gonna
tried
do
driving
yet.
with Isla? She doesn't know to brake until the very last minute, and then you break your nose on the seat in front
I
of you.
drove with her in over spring break.
And I did fine.
I wasn't talking about you then. I was talking about Isla.
Well, Isla brakes, and then you go bonk, and you hit your head.
She's
Well,
like,
that's all in the learning curve.
it's in the learning curve.
Or it's just how she drives, and I'm better than her.
So no questions for me?
No.
Well, I think you guys did an amazing job your first year of high school. And I want you to know this. Every single mom that I talked to with girls in their first year of high school, their girls cried a lot. It is totally normal. I think it is a huge adjustment on a lot of levels. And you should be very proud of yourselves for the friendships you have made and the accomplishments you've achieved with softball and swimming and cheer and boyfriend in, boyfriend out. It's a lot. I'm really proud of you both. And I hope you're proud of yourselves. You should be. So we'll have to come back next year and see how sophomore year
We
goes.
should come back with Kathy.
I'm gonna. I
Mother-daughter.
was trying to do a podcast with Kathy, and we couldn't get our scheduling. So I will definitely do a podcast with Tatum's mom and Margaret
No,
about
I'm saying like have Kathy with this, and we do mother-daughter.
the four of us.
Yes.
We could do that.
do mother-daughter
I
talk.
don't know how well that would go over.
We could do that. You'd have to sit in my lap, though, Georgia.
To know.
Yeah, you'd have to sit in my lap. Oh, okay. You're bigger than me. I'd have to sit in your lap.
It's okay, Lan. You can sit in my lap.
Well, you are like 3 inches taller than me.
Oh yeah.
So, duh. But yeah, I am going to do this podcast with your mom and with Gabby's mom and see how first year of high school went for the moms. Maybe you can listen to that and hear us really complain about the driving, because the driving, man,
And yet
let me
my
tell
mom
you.
says that she doesn't want me to drive. I'm like, don't you hate driving everywhere? She's like, absolutely, all the time. I hate it. And then I'm like, are you going to be happy I'm going to be able to drive soon? No. I don't want you to drive.
Nerve-wracking, I have to say.
I'll be fine.
Well, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being honest, because the thing is, people who listen have kids this age and their kids don't talk to them at all.
Roasted.
So they
like
don't.
me.
This is a
My
nice
mom.
little peek into what's going on for a freshman girl. And that is helpful for a lot of people. It's really helpful to have a little hint of what's happening. So thank you for being honest about the social media stuff and about the stuff with your mom. I think that's really helpful. I think a lot of girls probably feel like they need more autonomy.
Yeah.
And I think that's right where you should be when you're in high school, is to the need for some autonomy. That's healthy. That means you want to be your own person, and that's super healthy. So hopefully that helps other people who listen to think, maybe I'm fighting with my daughter all the time because she just wants, she's nothing against me. She just wants to be on her own. That's really, really insightful of you, lady. You guys are impressive.
I know.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming, sweetheart. I appreciate
Always.
it. Love you, Georgia. Love you, Tatum.
I love you too.
Love you, Tatum.
I love you too, Leanne.